Hey, welcome back to our Wednesday Clarity with Sims Media with me and Henry Sims. And we're going to talk about something today that's free, but could be incredibly costly if not used. What are we talking about today, Henry?
Talking about setting up all of your digital real estate, being on social media, and not ignoring it.
But why do people ignore it? I had a conversation the other day with someone and I said to them, because they told me their avatar was mature women. And I said to them, well, hang on a minute, you don't have Pinterest account. And she said, no, we don't. So I said to her, are you upset about how much Pinterest charges you to subscribe to that service? And she was like, oh, they don't charge, do they? And I went, well, no, they don't. So why are you not using it? Why are people therefore so, quite simply, lazy when it comes to using social platforms?
I think a lot of it has to go to the shiny object syndrome of entrepreneurs and constantly looking at the further stages of amplifying your brand before actually setting the foundation of it. They think that I need to immediately get into paid advertising, influencer marketing, like all this stuff where they throw money into, but they ignore the foundational element of making sure that people can just find you and setting up those free accounts to make sure that you do own that foundation in which everything else can build on top of. So I think it's a little bit to do with just as entrepreneurs being so fast and being subject to shiny object syndrome that they forget to look at the simple stuff that they need to do first.
We do like to pay out our problems. We do like to go, well, I need to do advertising. Who can I pay? We like to avoid the work. We're coming into a situation now where we've got to a point where we try to outsource so much that sometimes you can't outsource you. And I want to know, if I'm going to do business with someone, I want to know, what are they like? What do they sound like? What do they get up to? What is their passions? What are they proud of? And social gives us that a little look in, doesn't it? It gives us that little voyeurism to see who the person is. Because today, we don't buy the product or the company, we buy the person. And especially if it's someone that we're going to be vulnerable with. If I want to buy toilet roll, hey, I'll phone up Amazon and I'll get my Amazon toilet roll. But if I'm going to get involved in some coaching, some consulting, some marketing, some media, some development of my brand, I need to first understand, do you understand me? And for that reason, I need to know who you are. So if we're so hell-bent in outsourcing this, what do we need to kind of like retract and focus on? And does it take a lot of time to actually grow and use your social properly?
That's the beautiful thing. We spoke about it recently, that it doesn't have to take a lot of time when you know what you're doing or you have the right people involved. You can have your team take over a lot of the elements that take you personally a lot of time. So it's that entrepreneur lesson of learning how to delegate and outsource some of the stuff so that you can make content quicker. But it's so quick to go and grab your names on social. So that is one of the biggest things that you just need to initially do is right now, go out, get your domains, get your usernames, make sure that you own all of your digital real estate. And you never know where it's going to go. And recently I sent you an email of a new social platform that had spiked in some research that I was doing. And it looked like nothing that I would care for. But I still grabbed my name on it because who knows? Not using it or anything like that, but at least it's there. At least I have it. You don't want to, when you need to use TikTok, when it's become the dominant force and overtaken Facebook and whatever, let's say that happens. If that's the case and you didn't jump on TikTok now and you join the party late and you can't get your name on there, then it's an annoying burden that you don't have to suffer if you just go out right now and grab everything. Make sure that you've got your website domains and make sure that you've got your social handles so that you own your own, how you show up online, so that you can make it easy for people to search you and find you.
Let's focus. Let's play a little game on the what is, what was, and what will be. A lot of people avoid TikTok because they're not a dancing teenage girl in a crop top. Okay. They don't want anything to do with that. Okay. Fair enough. But wasn't that what MySpace was? Wasn't that what Facebook was? And isn't Facebook now the largest business directory in the planet? So what it is today is not necessarily a dedication of what it will be in the future. We, the consumers, dictate what it was. Now, I remember when I first jumped on TikTok, because the algorithm knew nothing about me, I got the dancing girls. I got everything in a tight swimsuit. Now, because I'm looking up motorcycles, I'm looking up, I don't know, patio furniture. Now the algorithms are changing. I'm getting more of that and getting more of the motivational stuff, and occasionally a little dancing girl in there, but it's far less because it's learning my algorithms now. Now, where's that going to be? Because like every teenager, they don't like being on Facebook because their mum and dad are there. Well, guess where the mum and dads are now? We're taking over TikTok because we're the ones with the buying power. So you may be able to throw the content up there, but we're the ones paying. And people tell you to pay attention to the people paying for this stuff. I'm totally with you. Don't focus on what it is today. If there is a domain that comes out, grab it. When it costs you money to register your name on a social platform, then I'll accept your bitching about it. But until then, while it's free, you don't have any excuses or point to cry at me about. But here's another question. If we're getting all of these social platforms, these free social platforms, how do we know how to differ the content? Like, how should we differ the content on TikTok that we do on Facebook, that we do on LinkedIn? Because that's going to take a lot of work if every platform has to have different content, doesn't it?
What a wonderful question.
I thought so.
Yeah. No, not at all. And it's because your business and who you are doesn't change just because it's on a different platform. So the purpose of all these platforms is to help get that message out there and have that discoverability. So if you are different on each of the platforms, your content's different, the offers are different, then all that's going to happen is you're going to create confusion, because we're in a society now where there's so many touch points. We don't just hit one touch point and we're sold. We do our research all over. So if the way we're showing up on all these different platforms isn't matching and isn't consistent, then it's giving us these confused mixed signals, which is not going to give us the confidence to go in and buy and get involved with you. So content is the same on absolutely every platform, because you're just using it as that outlet to potentially reach your ideal client that might enjoy spending their time on that particular platform.
Yeah, people are concerned about repeating the same content. You're not repeating the same content. You're repeating the same person. You're repeating the same tone. You're repeating the same tonality. That's continuity. And in today's market, continuity and clarity are king. You get a lot of people to turn around and they go, oh, which one should we go to? Let's break it down. LinkedIn is very much viewed as a businessy kind of platform. Pinterest, mature women. What is Facebook today?
It seems to be everything. It's just because of how much market share it's got. It's just everyone is on there, and it keeps molding differently. And I think it's a pretty balanced platform. It's not biased towards really young or really old. It seems to be a good mixture of everything. But at the same time, with how they're slipping into the metaverse and the gaming industry, and how they're really branching out and building out all these outlets, they may go in a particular direction, but they seem to just be catering and pulling every kind of demographic into it. So they're one of these instances that they've got such a large reach and so much power within the social media world that they're just kind of capturing everyone.
one of the points that Henry made up earlier was that you are grabbing the people and giving them your message on the platform they like. So during COVID, when we launched into the cancel culture and everyone was like, oh, I'm done with Facebook. I'm out of here. Knock yourself out. They're not crying. You run over to LinkedIn. That's why whatever you're putting up on Facebook needs to be the same as is going on LinkedIn. You're not trying to saturate the person with repeated message, because 9 times out of 10, the person that's watching you on TikTok is not the same person watching you on Twitter. That's not the same person as watching you on Facebook. So you're just trying to get them and grab them where they consume that media. How important is video today, though?
Video is my favorite form because it has so many different elements to it, whereas a graphic or just a text, you only get a few different stimuli in it. But with video, you get everything. There's the visual, there's the tone, there's the message. So you've got all the elements in one. So you have an easier time getting people to understand you. And people are, as you said, people are buying into us because there's competition within every industry. So your unique way of standing out and gaining a client is a lot of the time whether or not they just like you. So video has an easier time actually putting across and helping people understand what this person's like. How do they think and interact and talk? And that's where they're building their opinions from. And it's harder to do that with just a text or just a image. And also on the note of having all the platforms and being the same on all of them, from a business standpoint on dependency, it's good to have all the platforms. If you are building up your footprint in all these different areas, then you are creating more safety to how you gain attention and control it. Because if you're just reliant on Facebook, as so many businesses are, then you are at a high risk, because we even see that Facebook just mistakenly bans accounts and closes them down, and that's it. So if you are solely focused on just Facebook and you're like, this is what works for me, I only use that. If it works for you, great. And if that's where you're getting traction, keep using it, but still jump on the others, put the content on the other platforms, because if worst case scenario, that platform does get banned, or we even saw outages of it this year, then you want to make sure you can continue going and building on those other platforms. Otherwise, all of a sudden your business has just stopped. So you want to make sure from a standpoint of dependency that you aren't just relying on one single platform, and that you are looking at all of them to help control how you show up and take a little bit of ownership for that.
A lot of people will scream and shout when things go wrong with Facebook, but what they don't realize is that you're borrowing that platform for free. You are the content. They owe you nothing. So when they drop you off and they make a mistake, we made a mistake. You've got no one to moan on. It's not like you've been paying subscription services for the past 4 years. You pay nothing, okay? You are the content. So you don't have anyone to hold to bear for it. So that's why you should split it across. One big question this raises up is, how much of your database, how much of your community do you own? Or is it being supported on someone's borrowed platform? Okay. Mm-hmm. Get the text, get the email, get the home address. Something goes wrong with Facebook, you can send them a letter going, hey, I'm over here now. But yeah, understanding you are borrowing somebody else's platform. Now, you were talking about video being very important. I read a report a while ago how people say that loyalty is bred through character. Okay. Even if it's an animated character, Ronald McDonald or whatever, through characters. So if you don't have a character within your company, think of the difference between Virgin and British Airways. British Airways, who's the character? Who's the headstone there? No one. Virgin, Richard Branson. All right. We like characters. Loyalty is enhanced, and you will pay more for a character. Apple was beautiful in the fact that it had Steve Jobs there. Like him or not, Elon Musk, like him or not, it has a character. When you don't have a character, the consumer will then compare you on price. And if they're comparing you on price, as a beautiful statement from Roland Frazier, you end up in a race to the bottom. So you've got to stand up, stand out, show what you stand for by establishing a characteristic, okay? And that's you. 9 times out of 10, as entrepreneurs of any size of business, we want to know who's behind it, who's pulling the strings, who's dictating the route. So characters breed loyalty. And today, the one thing behind a successful brand is that community. It is that tribe. You know, people buy computers, buy Apple because they think they're cooler than PC. Think about it. PC makes up Dell, Hewlett Packard, so many different brands, but they always get cast with Apple or PC. Okay? PC is a definition of hardware. Apple is a brand. It's a tribe and it's a community. Okay? That's pretty powerful when you go, well, it's Ford or automobile. You know, it's kind of beautiful when you think that Apple are being compared to an entire industry. You break that down and think about it. Are you the character of your brand? And are you defining that so you can gain loyalty? If not, you should be. And there's no better place to do it than video. Right, we've got a few moments left now, Henry. So what should people be focusing on if they've been ignoring on it? They should understand their avatar. Where can they understand where the best platform is to be?
Actually, that's a cool one. So when I was looking through different stats, I love looking at different stuff as a geek, but I was seeing that a lot of the stats fell into discoverability and conversion. So making sure that people can find you, and then how much does that contribute to people actually getting involved with you? But as I was doing that, I was seeing a lot of people also talking about the benefits of social from the perspective of learning your audience. So if you don't actually know, if you've put a hypothesis as to who you think your ideal client is and who resonates with your message, or you're trying to make content to hit that person, when you do it across all these platforms and you've done enough content, you can look on the back end insights and see the audience data of whether or not that's the avatar that's engaging with you. You can see the age groups, the locations, the interests of the people engaging with your content. And then you can understand, maybe they're my ideal audience, or your content isn't actually speaking to the right people and you need to make a tweak there. So the backend insights for all of these platforms are a really powerful tool to help you know who resonates with your stuff and whether or not that works to reaching your ideal client, or whether or not your offering needs to change to make sure that you are talking to the right people. So using the backend analytics is a really cool tool that can help you better understand your audience, or whether or not you're even talking to them.
I want to quote our good friend Ari Moselle. He's spoken at a few speakeasies, and whenever you get to these situations, like all entrepreneurs, and you go, oh my God, I need to be doing that. Don't plan, do. Okay. In the great words of the wonderful Ari Moselle, get going and then get good. So what platform works for me? God knows, do them all. What content suits me best? Who knows? Do content. Whatever it is, break that duck's egg first. The old saying, the first time you do anything, it'll be shit. So get that out of the way, get going, and then get good. And that getting good can be used in the analytics. It can be used in the feedback. Are you getting more feedback on Twitter than you are on LinkedIn? And the funny thing is, I'll post something on Facebook, crickets. I'll post the exact same thing on Instagram, owned by the same group, and I get a lot of response. It's weird. You don't know, but you need to do. And that's the big thing. Too many people are stuck in their ways and they plan for perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. So get going, then get good. Throw some content up. Let people hear your voice. But if you're worried about what your hair looks like, let me point you out straight off the bat. No one gives a shit. They care about your content and how it can help them. Some bozo jumping up there going, hey, I made $1 million. Look at my jet. Couldn't give a shit. But if you're now going to tell me in the next 2 seconds how I can make $1 million and how I can have a jet, now you have my interest. Content is not for you. It's for them. So show up with value, show up with a solution, and you'll have their attention. Show up with an ego play. You might as well just stay in front of a mirror. Anything to add to that?
No, I think that's a good way to end that. Making sure you just get going and then get good.
Yeah, that's again, I always like to give credit to people that actually gave me that stuff. And that's the great and wonderful Ari Moselle sitting over there in New York. Ari, we love you, man. All right, so short one. There you go. Hopefully these help you. Again, if you have any questions, if you have anything to say, then stick it in the comments. These are for you. We're not charging you for them, but we do want them to be of value. So if you've got any questions, any subjects, let us know, and we'll do our next Clarity with Sims Media on that subject. But for now, thank you very much. Have a great time and do something with this advice. See you later. Bye.